What's up YouTube, Darren here from Zephyr Wargames, bringing you Carl's Lair Lords, or Darklord Lair, whichever you like to call it. So this deck actually, Darklords themselves received a bit of support with a brand new trap, the Sanctified Darklords, that came out in Flames of Destruction, which is really, really good. It's a shame it's not like a holo or a secret, because this artwork is stunning, the exact same with all of the Darklord monsters. On top of that, Lair of Darkness actually provides a bit of synergy with the deck, not only making it easier to get Diabolus out of your hand or grave, Diabolus being a trading target, constantly bringing you more tokens because you tribute a lot with your Darklords and your spells and traps that you then get more tokens to play around with, to link up with, to tribute off if you need to. And then on top of that, Lilith can search out your Darklord traps because they are all normal traps. So you play 3 Darklord traps and these are all now searchable. Obviously they were searchable before with the own Darklord stuff, but even with Lilith, at the end of the day, your opponent does not want you having any of these 6 cards. Any of these 6 cards with a Darklord deck is always going to be dangerous. Eradicator in this meta now can shut down so many decks. You hit spells with Sky Strikers, that's it. They're over and done with. There's no way they can play... Obviously, they research a bit more and stuff like that, and you do feel like they're grey for them, but you're taking away their entire advantage. You hit traps against Altergeist, they're in real trouble. Your deck devies, your full forces deal with any monsters, and then, of course, the Darklord cards are all recyclable anyway, so you're bouncing them back to deck and then searching them again, so you have more ways, more consistency as well. So, without further ado, I'm going to take you through this deck, we'll show you what we got, and we'll show you why we've got it, and then you can kind of see why Darklords are one of my personal favourites. I love this deck. It's a shame it never really took off to the levels it could have done, but it's still very, very good, and the artwork is always stunning along with the lore. So we've got triple Ix-Chill. This is your draw card, draw power, your main important card, which is why it's so hard to get hold of. Your Darklord Superbia, the biggest downside of this card is its old text, that it's when this card is special summoned, so if you bring it back by spinning back Contact, you don't get the effect to revive another one, but you do if you activate Contact. Now the reason you don't get it if you spin Contact back with the Darklord effect is because it misses timing, because the last thing to happen is Contact going back to deck, sorry. We've then got double Nasten. Nasten is another Darklord that, again, with the new ones, with Ix-Chill, has the ability to pay 1,000, spin one of your Darklord spell and traps back to your deck, and then apply their effects. So, for those of you who don't know what Darklords do, I'm trying to be as brief as I can with them. So, their spells and traps can only be activated once per turn, but when you spin them back using the Darklord effects, you're not actually activating the cards, you're activating their effects. So, you do get to stack them a couple of times in a turn, which is really, really good and powerful. Then for the last Darklord, we've got Darklord Zerato. Zerato is your level 8 trading target, is your Regeki on board. And then, of course, if you ever, very rarely do it, but if there are 4 or more Dark monsters with different names in your graveyard, you contribute summon this monster by treating one Dark monster instead. So again, that's kind of easier to do because you've got all your Darklord cards, your Lair cards as well. But it's rare that you'll play them off that way. Speaking of that, we've got triple Lilith. Obviously, searches you out all your traps in your deck. No reason to play any less. Triple Arima, again, searches you out your field spell, which can be very, very powerful. And then the ability to tribute another Dark monster and draw 1 card, again, is very, very useful to add to the consistency of Darklords. And then, of course, 2 Diabolus. Again, incredibly powerful. You trade him in with trading, get him to the graveyard, get your +2, play your card's effects, use any of your tribute effects, bring him back. You've now got a level 8, untargetable, unchargeable, 3k beater on board. The synergy and consistency between the two is always there, especially when they're all darks. You've got a lot of trading, a lot of Allure fodder. Speaking of which, you play triple Allure of Darkness. You need the consistency in this deck. Triple Contact, you're basically Monster Reborn in defense mode for your Darklords. Triple Banishment, your searcher for any Darklord card, which is incredibly powerful. Triple trading, you have in total for your tradings 2 Diabolus, plus you think you've got 6 level 8 tradings, yeah. And all these 8s you want in the grave. Apart from Zerato, you want them in the grave anyway because you're reborn of that. We've got 2 Lair of Darkness and 1 Terraforming. Terraforming is more there for a deck thing. This can easily be a 3rd Lair of Darkness if you want it to be. That's just down to personal preference. We've then got, plus obviously this can be a nice little bait out for Ash. If they don't know you're playing Darklords, you activate this, they choose to either Ash this or not, you bring out Lair of Darkness, then they're like, oh, they're playing Lairs, and then you start doing your Darklord stuff, they're going to be in so much trouble if they don't catch that early on. 1 Monster Reborn, and then one that I'm trying out, you don't have to play this, this can be a Soul Charge as an alternative, but Reasoning. Now the reason I'm playing that is because we've got level 8s, we've got level 4s, level 3s, level 7s, and level 10s. So there's a lot of opportunities in there for you to mill through your decks Obviously, you don't want to mill huge amounts, but this can actually help give you an additional monster to the board and unclog you a little bit. Then for the traps, we've got, of course, 3 viruses, 1 Eradicator, 1 Deck Devi, and 1 Full Force. Eradicator is the only one that I say is a staple and must be played in the deck. The rest of the 2 are kind of down to you, whether you want to play Crush cards, Grinning Graves, anything that up to you. These are the personal best ones in my opinion. You've got the one that's Sanctified of the Darklord, so you send 1 Darklord monster from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard, negate the effect of 1 effect monster on the field until the end of this turn, and if you do gain life points equal to its attack, you can only activate 1 per turn, but again, if you spin this back, you're negating 2 cards, and this kind of helps you with the new time procedure rules. Because you're paying 1,000 life points here and there to spin your cards back, you do need something to gain your life points back, especially with the new procedures. You've got the 1 Darklord enchantment, which is an untargetable mind control, very, very powerful. And then you've got the 1 Darklord Rebellion, which unfortunately doesn't target, fortunately doesn't target, so it's nice to get around certain things. You just destroy 1 card on the field, so it's very, very good to kind of move stuff around as well. So again, these 6 are all searchable with Lilith, so there's no reason not to play them. Gives you a couple of options as well. If you want to bump up the Darklord traps, by all means do so. The only ones that you'd probably bump up would be Rebellion, maybe Sanctified, entirely up to you. But the ratios of 1s, considering they get recycled back to the deck, is more than enough. Now on to the extra deck. So we play 3 rank 8s. Owlsy the Sylvan High Protector, that's just personal preference on mine. You play any rank 8 you want. Number 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon and Titanic Galaxy. That is probably a staple rank 8. And then the 1 Heroic Sun Dragon Overlord Heliopolis, because of its tribute effect, unclogs your hands, pops a load of monsters, and then obviously you get your Diabolus effect off of that as well. You can play the trains, the level 10 Super Dora and Gustav Max, entirely up to you. I've played quite a lot of Link monsters and a couple of Reaper targets. So you could take out your Reaper targets for the train targets, and that's if you have 2 X-Chills on board. But because you can only special summon X-Chills or the new Darklords once per turn certain ways, it's a little bit harder to pull off. It's doable, but not ideal. But with the new time procedures, the Gustav Max could actually be a nice little game winner for you. So again, entirely up to you. For the links, we've got Saruja, Borrowload, and Firewall. Firewall mainly because you can use the tokens for it. Borrowload because it is probably the strongest going second kind of link 4. And then Saruja because you can flood the board quite easily turn 1, turn 2, and stuff like that. And being able to get a special summon out of your hand can help you as well. Adds to consistency and then reshuffles your deck as well. So that is your options there. Just dropping Kigeki on the board. For your link freeze, we've got the Nightmare Unicorn. Pretty much that's all you need. You can flood the board nice and easily. Getting the co-linked, again, it's not a staple, so these can be Gustav Maxes or it can be more Reaper targets. The best thing with Darklords is the extra deck is very, very versatile. We've got the one at Nightmare Cerberus and Nightmare Phoenix just for popping back row and 4 row, plus the draw should you need it. Underclock Toka, just because it's an incredibly powerful link too. It just requires 2 effect monsters, so it can help unclog your board. Maybe if you've got a contact in hand but no Darklords in grave, very rarely will that happen. Link up into an Underclock Taker, then you can activate your contact and start moving your plays further forward. Link Spider because of the tokens. And then we've got your Reaper targets of Isolde, Spiral Double Helix, Invoke Mechbot, and Sky Striker Ace Kagari. Now obviously Kagari adds to the consistency. This can easily be Sissoko. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but the water one as well. Like I said, it's a lot of versatility in the extra deck, and it really comes down to personal preference and what you feel you're going to be facing on your day. So again, that's entirely up to you on how you want to play the extra deck. It is open and very, very varied. But for now, I hope this has helped. I hope this has given an idea. Darklords are more of a fun deck, but they can really, really catch your opponent off guard, which makes them an incredibly powerful threat to deal with. So don't write them off. Keep an eye on them. And I honestly advise you to pick up X-Shields while you can, because this deck can get even better when we get the Dark Link monster, the generic Dark Link monster, because you can start using the tokens for it. You boost all these up by an extra 500, and they can be even more effective in the future. So that is my 2 cents to you guys out there. Keep an eye on them. Go pick up the X-Shields while they're sitting around 10 quid, maybe 13 or so dollars. Pick them up while you can, and pick up the rest of the deck as well. It's all very, very cheap after that. But for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and as always, guys, happy dueling. What's up YouTube, thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button, and of course don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button in the bottom left hand corner and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. We've got more deck profiles, duels, pack openings and many more Yu-Gi-Oh videos coming up for you all year round, so don't forget to stay tuned for all of that. Thanks, and as always guys, happy dueling.